All right, so we're back at it with conversation convo combos, and we are talking about video games and how they can be considered as a hobby. Now, personally, my preference is the fact that certain video games they share like similarities of like not just role playing, but also about the fact that of the farming, the resources, and stuff like that. It can definitely go in depth, and I know you definitely touched a good amount on that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There's just like certain games that I feel like it really dives in deep and it invests you into it to a certain point that it's just like wow, like this game is like crazy. It's not even just males. Like there's a lot of female gamers out there,
A
which like
lot.
shout out to the female gamers because I feel like they are the ones that are getting the most criticized because every time a female gamer hops on, it's always about like oh like show me your tits or like you should be in the kitchen making me a sandwich and stuff like that. It's just like yo, bro, like dude, like seriously.
Like everybody has
Well,
their
like at least she's
thing.
hopping on. Like you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like yo, like she can be like literally shitting on a dude that's fucking on the couch or whatever like that, or she could be hopping on her own game system or hopping on with the dude. So it's like, why does it even matter? Like it
Yeah.
shouldn't be, you know. But that's just my personal opinion.
Yeah. I'd definitely say there's a lot of games out there that I've dove deep into. Um, I feel like it's more of an escape, trying to find that game where you can really like dive into. And like you said, there are a lot of role playing games where you can play and actually enjoy yourself and genuinely like feel like you're either one in the game or two, every character matters.
Yeah.
And I mean, it has lately been hard to find games that are in that depth where you actually have characters that are concrete and that you actually like, that are likable, that are not just likable, but are also relatable or that you can connect to, or if they even get hurt or whatever, you get that feeling of like, oh my gosh, are they going to die? Or like, are they going to be in the next one? Or are they going to be in the rest of the game? Or are they out of the game now?
Yeah.
And I think when you get that connection, it helps you really tie yourself to that game. And a lot of people view that as an escape when they deal with depression, anxiety, everyday life. It's just like, hey, I can escape from this game or this reality with this game. And it's like, it's a good feeling. And not only that, but you make a habit of it so that way you can deal with that issue of like, hey, I'm stressed out. I can decompress by playing this game, and it becomes a hobby
Yeah.
in
Well, like
reality.
you definitely like you dive yourself into it. Like the game that me and you most recently played, Cult of the Lamb. Cult of the Lamb was one of those types of games that like I spun upon it on the Nintendo Switch. That's when I first found out about it. I didn't know that it was available on PlayStation. I didn't know it was available on other platforms. I just was rolling with the handheld. So that's why I went with the Switch and I was just playing on there. But when you got into like the first groove of things, it was a little complicated because like, you know, you're getting your first follower, then like you gotta make the farm, all that jazz, and you know, you didn't really have too many people to like take care of the mess and stuff like that. But then when you start to really dive deep into it, okay, now I got more followers, so now they could take care of like, you know, all the extra work and I could be out there and you know collecting resources, going on adventures, killing a couple bosses and stuff like that.
Each
But then
character is important.
yeah, well then also when you had the co-op, which I really think that they should have more co-op, like um,
Split screen or couch.
well yeah yeah. What I was gonna say is the game Split Fiction. Split Fiction. I
Yeah.
think that's really like games like that. Like, what was the other game that was like that?
Split Fiction. It
Oh,
Takes
it
Two.
takes two. Yes, yes,
That's
yes.
another good
Yeah,
one.
it takes two. Games like that. I think they should really like they need to bring a lot more games like that because what they're putting on the table or on the plate is that type of game style that has been missing for a very long time. Because when we were young and we were like, going over to our friend's house for a sleepover, or if we were just gonna go over there, then next, like they got a new game, you borrow your controller, y'all were just gaming, maybe order like some Papa John's, y'all were just
Oh
chilling,
yeah.
having like some like Mountain Dew, whatever like that on the side, to keep you coasting. But it's just having that experience of being able to play a game that you don't have to buy uh, the game itself. You just have to go over to your friend's house and plug in your controller. It should be that simple. It shouldn't be you having a membership, having extra PlayStation extra. Shouldn't have you have like PlayStation Premium. Shouldn't have you have Xbox Live. It should be as simple as you taking your controller, plugging it into the system, and
It could be
boom.
offline. Like
Yeah,
you could play with
yeah,
yourself and your partner, or yourself and your friend.
exactly. I mean, sure, like, okay, what are we missing out? Oh, well, you guys won't be able to get like trophies or achievements. Like those things are eternally, so
Yeah.
you can't even tell me about that. Secondly, oh, what? Because I'm gonna be missing out on like the open world or like getting notifications or being able to buy certain stuff. Like, dude, I'm not trying to buy extra stuff, and I'm not. I don't really care about. I'm here with someone physically.
Too complex.
Yeah,
That's literally what it is. Like games have gotten to a point, and it's not even just like games. I don't blame people who play games. I don't blame the developers. It's just a unanimous overall. It falls on both gamers and the creators. We expect too much.
yeah. The expectation is definitely high because people. Well, when you got the people that binge, you got the people who play religiously. They'll blow through a DLC like within like 1 or 2 days.
Oh yeah.
Like straight up. But if you got people who are working two jobs, if you got
Mm-hmm.
people who are working even just a
Like
single
us.
job, and yeah, and if you have kids and stuff like that, it's a lot hard to like really like try to finagle a time so that way you kind of like post your stuff right then and there, so that way like okay, I'm gonna hop on this game and then play for this X amount of time because like let's be honest, we don't know how long we're gonna spend on the game, and
Yeah.
sometimes we're game hopping. We're not staying on that single game. I mean,
Exactly.
we might be playing Resident Evil 4 remake, and then we'll jump over to maybe Suicide Squad, or we'll go from Suicide Squad to like what? All right, let's hop on Division 2, or we'll go from Division 2 and we'll play Dead Island 2 or whatever like that. So
Yeah.
I think it's just about the matter of again what can be brought to the table, and
Mm-hmm.
on top of that is just like how good the co-op is. You
Yeah.
you need that functionality, and you need to have that type of like you need to have that type of environment. You need to have that type of flow. You know.
Yeah. And I think that's why I stem to some of the YouTubers that I watch. Um, a lot of them play um, Japanese games or games that are like,
Well, the foreign games they be doing good
yeah.
because like a lot of people they
Well,
be they be sleeping on the foreign
well, and the
games.
thing is, there's not much to them. Like, there's some of them where it's just like delivering packages to a door. It's like a horror game. You deliver packages to the door. There's a little dialogue here and there, but I mean, the artwork isn't like, oh my god, it's 4K,
Yeah.
180p graphics. It's like at the end of the day, like it has a story to it. It's a horror story, and you're having fun.
I mean, dude, even back then we weren't even playing on the highest graphics. We weren't even touching like 4K. We were just on 1080.
I mean,
Like,
prime example: Plants vs Zombies.
you know
Not
what
the
I'm saying?
greatest graphics, but it's fun as hell.
Yeah.
Army of Two.
Army. Oh, dude.
That was
Army
a
of
bomb
Two.
game.
Dude.
You'd use car
Dude,
doors for
dude, the
shields.
the
All
the,
that
the
back
back
to
to
back.
back, yo,
Yep,
oh my god, the
back
back
to
to back
back.
was
Yep,
dope. That was crazy, and then like you always be like, "Yo, Salem," and
yep.
then y'all would just be like knuckling up. that's an interaction that you need to keep when you're doing these
Hmm.
co-ops,
You could
because these,
actually interact with one another in the game, not just in real
yeah,
life.
you need to keep that,
Uh-huh.
because when you start straying away from it and then you make everything way too like online and digital and stuff like that, it's just like it makes it like too difficult. Like when we were playing Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
It was just like so difficult to even just try to do the call. Oh well, you gotta do this, you gotta do the tutorial. Then after you do the tutorial, then you gotta do that. It's like,
Oh,
dude,
and it's not like it's
I'm
not
just
that
trying
the
to play the game, bro.
exactly, and it's not like the game itself is difficult. It's not like, oh my god, this game is too hard. I keep dying. Da, 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 da. No, it's like the game is hard in the aspect of, in order for you to link up with together, it has to be like you have to do everything in execution A, B, C. Because
Yeah,
if you don't, then if you even miss the slightest thing, it won't work.
because people aren't
It's
gonna like anything that's overly
too
complicated.
complex.
Yeah, people aren't gonna like that.
What I remember when you used to just, hit the center button, go to your friend, and hit invite
Yeah.
to the game. That was it.
Dying Light and Dying Light 2 was like pretty
Yeah,
smooth,
it was
because all
like
you had to
that.
do
Yeah,
was just like literally
you
bing,
literally,
boom,
yep,
and then hopped in.
you literally hit the middle button on Xbox or PlayStation, went to your friend on the whatever drop down menu, and you invited them.
Yeah.
Because I got that game on both. I almost have every game on both systems for that very reason. Because sometimes the flow of it
Yeah.
is smoother on one system rather than the other. So, and I have people on both systems.
Yeah. I mean, I was most recently actually playing Remnant 2, and Remnant 2, like I will like, that's one game that I always like kind of hold dear to me, only because like I like the whole aspect of it, and there's like a lot of like fond memories. Like you've definitely been there and stuff. So like that's why I like Remnant 2 so much. It's just the fact that, yeah, you feeling that shoulder.
Man, my shoulder carrying. But
Yeah,
I definitely
it's,
feel that
yeah.
it's definitely dear to me too, because, and it's funny too because you were skeptical. You were a skeptic because originally I told you to get on it,
Yeah.
and then you were like, "Really? My dad said to also get on
Yeah,
this. Like,
I mean,
is it that good?"
I was lucky enough that I actually got the game for free. I didn't even think I was gonna get the game for free, because
That's
I
like,
was like very like hesitant, and my dad was just like, "Oh, it's like it's a really good game. It's third person." It's like, I don't know. I'm like, I'm not really like too much, and then next, like he got me the game, and then I tried. I'm like, yo, this game is
well,
pretty dope.
that just shows you like someone invests in a game and you put in the work, like hours, like hundreds of hours. I mean, Ray can attest to that. Like, there's games like Stellar Blade, like all
Persona
Persona
5.
5,
Dude, Persona
Royal.
5.
You
Oh
could
my
put
god.
hundreds of hours
I
in it.
only touched like literally like the bare minimum of that, and y'all both like literally like y'all dived
Yeah,
hours
I've
into it.
destroyed that game. Me and Ray have destroyed that game.
But like the thing is, it's like again, it's just about the gameplay. Yeah,
It
it's about the
it really
gameplay,
is.
and it's about how much it invested you in, and that's again how we dive back into this topic of games and how they become a hobby. I'm not saying to become a complete like
Every
nerd.
day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not to be completely like invested, like doing it on the daily. Like if that's your job, hell, dude, that's dope. Like you're getting paid to play games, which some YouTubers they do.
Yeah.
They get paid to pay. They get paid to play games, even if they're not being sponsored to it. Sometimes they'll have to, pay their own money out of their pocket, and they'll even say at the beginning of their video, they'd be like, oh, like, just letting you know, like, this isn't sponsored, like, they're not, like, there's no association, whatever, like that. I'm just trying this game out, and, here we go. And then they're trying it out. But that's the thing that I do love about YouTube, is that you're able to, like, literally, like, put in any video game, and there's either a tutorial or how do you do this or how do you do that and stuff like that, and it's just very like just like straightforward. I like the straightforward stuff. I don't like the stuff that like dives deep. I don't like people who like commentary through the whole thing. Like I've seen like some game like Rad Brad, like no disrespect to Rad Brad, I love him.
Some
I've
of
been a
his
fan
stuff
of
is
him.
all right. Some
Yeah.
of it is. I mean, and everybody's gonna will be like that.
Yeah.
Some people
No,
might
no,
agree with
I've
it.
been a fan of Rad Brad for a hot minute. My dad introduced me to him, and we would always like just like check out his videos. But the thing is, like, I know like he's a talkative dude and stuff like that, and that's fine. But it was just like all
Too
right, like
much.
yeah,
Like
it's just like
s-
I need more gameplay
some
and just like slightly less vocals.
it's and I mean you're exactly like me where you could talk to me all day long. You could give me a diagram. You could like tell me up and down. Like Ray, for example, giving me guidance on the whole YouTube thing
Yeah,
and like creating a VTuber and stuff like that. I mean, he's got knowledge like nonstop. Like he could like talk your ear off and give you all this knowledge. But me and you are hands on. You have
yeah.
to literally physically show me like on the computer. You have to pull up, click, click, click here,
Yeah,
click there, click
because if
here.
you go through the steps, it's a lot more easier to absorb than you just giving me words and stuff like that. Like, yeah, I could read words, but like if you show me it, then I'll be able to pick it up a lot quicker. Same thing like when you're playing a video game,
Mm-hmm.
when they give you those tutorials. But sometimes like you'll have to go through those tutorials over and over again, so that
Mm-hmm.
way you can actually fully absorb it. Like when we played Hell Divers, and then we start that tutorial. Okay, so you do that, and stuff, and then when it came down to like being on the field and stuff like that. It's like, oh, like left, down, up, saying
Yeah, all
like
these button
all these button
combinations.
combinations to like spawn this, spawn that. Like Helldivers 2, it's not a bad game.
Yeah.
It's not a terrible game. It's just again, it's one of those games that like you have to invest your time in. Same thing like
Yeah.
Space Marines too. And it's funny because have you noticed that all of the
I
games that we played were always sequels? Like we
yeah.
played Dead Island 2, Space Marines 2, Dying Light 2. Um, what was the other game that we played? It was
Remnant too.
yeah, Remnant 2. So it's just like all these sequels, they're doing it right. It's just they need to dive in a little bit more.
Yeah, and I mean, you could say like we said, I mean, we like simple games, but I mean, I mean, a little bit of complexity is fine
Yeah.
because I feel like Remnant can be really complex at times.
Oh yes.
And I mean,
When it comes,
re-rolling,
yeah,
trying to get that right area and that right map,
finding the
finding the
weapons, the
weapons, the
items.
items. So I mean, I'm not saying like a complex game is a bad game, but at the same time, I mean, it's I guess everybody's different. Everybody's got their snack,
Yeah.
and so I mean, I'm more of a simple game versus a complex game. Could I do a complex game? I could, but the thing is, for me, if the game is complex, it has to have a really freaking good story, and it has to have like relatable characters, and I have to connect with those characters. Otherwise, I'm gonna get bored.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's just me.
Yeah.
And Stellar Blade's a prime example. You can get all these soda. It's like 100, like 90 something soda cans or whatever. It's something ridiculous.
Yeah.
Going around and finding all the soda cans to get an outfit. There's like jobs that you got to
Oh,
do
dude,
to get
there's like
outfits.
numerous outfits. I mean, they did
It's
a great job with
crazy.
that game. They did an amazing job with that game. It's just
People
like
trash on it though. That's
I
the crazy
know. I
part.
don't. That's the thing I don't understand is that like
It's
they be trashing like
it's
certain games that it's just like
nitpicking. It's
yeah,
little nitpick.
very
It's like, oh,
nitpicking.
her hair gets in the way. It's like, okay,
But
you're
you
so
can
you
make it
want
short.
they so that's what
You
they
have that
did.
option.
But and then the thing is they're like they'll complain people will complain about, oh, we want like actual like we want realistic like hair movement and stuff like that, or we want realistic body movement. And then suddenly you make the realistic body movement, you make the realistic hair movement, and everybody's like, oh, it's in the way, or oh, it's a distraction, or oh, it's offensive. It's like, well, you can't get your cake and eat it too.
Yeah.
Like you
Well,
gotta
yeah, you can't have all the bells and whistles. You
no,
you really
you
can't.
gotta
You gotta understand also from the person who's actually making the game too,
yeah.
because like the people who make the game, that it takes a lot. Like I don't know if you ever dived into doing animation. I've done a little bit of animation on my iPad, and that's oof. It takes time because it's the same thing like it's a little bit the same thing of doing stop motion, except that like you don't have like a physical thing that you're moving around. You
Hmm.
have to do each line and making sure that it lines with that, and then you got to make sure the shapes are right and stuff like that. That it looks good and it flows good because like when you're doing the striking for, I saw a little bit of the making of God of War.
Hmm.
Um, Not the old ones, but like the most recent one, like
Yeah.
Ragnarok and Valhalla and stuff like that. They took a lot of time in that because they wanted it to be running smooth. Because if you're going to be throwing that axe, they want to make sure that it's running smooth. You throw the axe, you recall it back. You're doing these combinations. You know, you're doing punch, 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 swing. You call what's his name? His son.
Uh, Art
I'm trying to remember his name.
Atreus.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah.
Yes, Atreus. You call Atreus, then he comes in and does like a couple arrows or whatever like that, and then you're going back to doing a combo. You do a rage blast. They push them out, then they go back. That's the thing though, is like the combinations and the chains and stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
if you're able to keep the character floating,
Hmm.
you're able to execute a certain amount of long chain because of the reaction time of when the body falls down and then you
Yeah.
pick it back up and then you smacking it, and then before they hit the ground you have that like that reset reaction time call. You hit them down, come back up. So it's crazy what these game developers do, and it's funny that these people that they like to criticize these games that they don't realize all the
Work
bread
that
and
gets
butter
put
that
into
they
it.
put into it. You know what I'm saying? They did a lot of like elbow grease to put these contents, and these people are still not. They think it's inadequate. It's just not enough. Dude, me and you, we blew through the Remnant 2 DLCs like they were nothing. Like we
Yeah.
threw that shit like it was like flapjacks. But did we complain about it? No, because
Yeah.
we still had good amount of fun with it. I will say they should come out with another DLC or at least do another holiday event because
Yeah.
I was a little pet peeved about that because I was just like, damn, dude, I gotta do a double tomorrow. Like you were hitting me up, and I was just like, damn, bro, like it's already like I think it was like around like 9 or 10, and there was like a short window span, and I was like, damn, but I hopped on because I was just like, hold on, let me see if I could try to hop on, and I was like, I could either hop on the TV or I could do it on the portal. I'm like, let me try on the portal, and the portal it has its ups and downs, and it was acting a little iffy, so I turned on the TV, then I hopped on, and then next thing you know, long and behold, you were definitely still on, and we hopped on and we were getting like the certain like it was the I think it was the corrupted
Oh,
the
yep. Corrupted items.
the corrupted items and the corrupted enemies because
Yep.
that's how you get the items.
Yeah.
Um, it was Nerud,
Oh
and then you go
gosh.
into Nerud, and then
Ugh.
you take the elevator down towards like that weird infested like alien worm slug things,
Yeah.
and it was a giant like freaking like meatball or whatever like that, and
Oh
then
my gosh.
we were able to kill it, but you got the corrupted item and stuff like that, and I didn't.
Yeah.
So we both killed it, but I didn't get it, but I got it the next day because it didn't register. So
Yeah.
there is like a couple little things
Well,
that
there's
doesn't refresh and
yeah,
finalize, and
like
it is what it is.
glitches.
Yeah,
And I mean, that's a big thing. I think like it's one thing to be like prime example like Stellar Blade came out and it was crisp. There was like very little glitches. I mean,
yeah.
I'm not going to say absolutely no glitches, but there's very little glitches and people will complain. And I'm like, what? I'm like, okay. And then you got games that come out like Cyberpunk when it first got released, and it's like
That game is
riddled with freaking bugs, like
that,
terribly. But Fallout 76, terrible when it first came out, the worst.
but Cyberpunk is live like all the time.
Yeah,
It's nothing but a consistent live feed, so you're bound to have bugs. This is the thing: when the game first comes out, do not have high expectations, and the I already know that. I never hold games that first come out to have high expectations because I already know there's going to be bugs.
Yeah.
There's going to be bugs. Then they're going to have to come up with updates and stuff like that. I can deal with that because I completely understand it. That's
Well,
fine.
and I think a lot of that the backlash for that comes, you used to go to the midnight releases at GameStop and you would get the new Call of Duty or you would get the
Yeah.
new Mortal
No,
Kombat
I remember working at GameStop and
and
that
you'd
was
be eating
yeah,
pizza
it was
chilling.
bumping.
But when you went home, you put the disc in, you played the game, you didn't have to worry about it. The game was finished. The
Yeah.
game was crisp. It was done. You don't get that anymore. You don't
No.
get a finished game. They come out with this DLCs.
They got to
You gotta
polish it
get the
off.
season pass. They gotta
Hmm.
polish it off. Which I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't get a problem with the game that has to polish. But if you're talking about a game that you're putting out and it's got like constant bugs, you're constantly getting kicked out of the lobby, this and that. Like Space Marines, when we first hopped on, you remember it was constantly getting kicked out. It
Yeah,
was a
Space
nightmare.
Marines too.
At
It was just like think,
at
think,
that
and I was
point,
just like,
don't,
oh, I lost
at
you.
that
I
point,
lost you.
yeah, and it's like don't put the game out yet. Get your
Yeah.
servers established. Get enough workers to monitor these servers before you put
Same
the
thing
game
like
out.
Helldivers 2. It was the same thing with that too
Mm-hmm.
because it was just like we were like doing these planets and going to these places, but then it was just like the fact that it was like, damn, like
It's
now like
yeah.
my boy just got booted out. All right, let me wait for him until he comes back and stuff like that. And then it's just like
Next
it
thing you know,
run
someone joins you.
that also runs to that like curiosity is like, oh, like like did he get the rewards, did he get the experience,
Yeah.
did he
Oh
get
my
the
gosh,
items?
that was
And
so scary too, especially in like when you would be fighting a boss, especially when we first started off in Remnant. That was always an issue where it was like, hang on, don't collect the items yet. Let me join back up. And
yeah,
it was funny, but it wasn't funny because it was like, I mean, aggravating.
yeah,
And I mean, I feel like it's a double edged sword. It's like you want to be mad at the game creators because they used to create complete like games for cheap. Like it used to be like $50 for a game and it would be crisp and complete.
yeah.
Now it's like $70 for a game, sometimes more depending on what console, and you're not getting a complete thing. They still have to polish it. It's still got to get updated. They still need to get like grow the servers.
My me personally, my recommendation would be at least when a new game comes out, give it at least a week. At least a week.
Yeah,
That's minimum.
for a patch or
If
something to come out.
if we're going for max, give it a month. But you gotta stray away from. I mean, if you want, you can do your homework and then you can see what's going on YouTube about that game. My favorite person, damn, I forgot his YouTube name, but it's the dudes that do the before you buy.
Yeah,
I love those
yeah.
dudes because they give you like straightforward content and then they tell you like, oh, like, hey, this is before you buy, like, deciding whether or not before you're gonna buy the game
Well,
and if it's good or not.
so tell me this. So you just freaking preach to my choir right there. I'm trying to figure out. I was like, oh, should I get GTA 6? Because GTA 5 was so hype. You know how long that game's lasted.
Yeah,
Like it's lasted a long time.
it's still
I
going.
put so much effort into that game
I
on
never
both
really.
consoles.
I'll be honest with you. I've never really cared about GTA. I played like all the ones prior before. My favorite one was San Andreas. That's my
Yeah,
favorite. If they
that's a
do
classic.
if they do a remake of GTA San Andreas, like yo, I would definitely buy it. Especially if it's like really like good graphics. Then you got the graphics of like GTA 5. Then like yeah, I'll definitely pre-order that. But like for me, I don't know, like GTA, it's not something that I'm hyped about.
Yeah,
For me to get hyped about a game, I'm a fighter and I'm a little bit on the shooter side. But if you're
yeah.
bringing both those components to me and it's third person, like bruh, like I'm definitely gonna check that game out because now you're talking like it's three of the things that I
Well,
love.
and I think it's also the fact of that there's no like you can't you can role play in that game, sure, but there's no character connection at all. Like unless you join a role playing server,
Yeah.
which would require you to be on a
No,
PC,
I mean it's like it's like Sims on crack basically
basically.
because like there's so much capability in GTA. There's a million mods and stuff like that, and the capability is just astronomical. It's you're talking about from just having original straight up character that you made. You know, you want to make it like somewhat like you, and then you do all these mods. Like you can have your vehicle be bulletproof. You can have like your vehicle looking like coming from like Fast and the Furious.
Yeah,
It's just there's so much stuff that you can do. You know what I mean? And that's awesome. It's just again people critique it and stuff like that. And they have a little certain stuff. I don't critique it. Like I don't have any like type of like bad vibe with GTA.
it's
Just
just
me.
not your cup of tea.
Yeah. For me, it's just it's not something that I really care too much about. Now, if they kind of involved a little bit more stuff, I mean, who knows? With this upcoming GTA, I might check out some gameplay and I'll
Well,
see how it is, and then you know,
that's funny that you mentioned that because that's actually what I was leading up to. Is I was like trying to look up gameplay, and I even messaged my brother-in-law. I was like, "Hey, did you get GTA 6?" And he's like, "No, not yet." He's like, "I really wish I did." And I was like, "Well, is it? Have you seen any gameplay? Do you have any gameplay?" He's like, "Oh no, it hasn't come out yet. Like they got the trailer. That's it." And I was like, "They don't have gameplay?" I'm like, "Are you kidding me?"
yeah,
I'm like, you put out a game and you're not going to have people, put out like, hey, like I'm doing this on your game. Like this is fun. Da, 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 da. I mean, I get it. They're like, they don't want people to copyright it or bash their game and end up bringing it down. But I mean, that's just the reality. I mean, that's like if we were to block all comments onto our podcast and be like, we're not going to have people comment on our podcast because they're going to say bad things about what we say.
yeah. It's like, dude, like, come on
It's
now.
like everybody should get to voice their opinion. If they don't agree with like what we say, that's fine. But I mean, at the end of the day, you should allow people to see your product and like you're not going to buy a product that you don't get to view
I
first.
mean, hell, even if you're doing a demo,
Yeah.
like if you're doing demos and stuff, like me, like I like doing demos, but the thing is, it's like watching a trailer.
Yeah.
Like, oh damn, like this movie looks really good. When is it coming out? And then you find out it's not coming out until like 2026, like late 2026. Like, damn, bro, like that movie looks fire, but like I'm not gonna see that until like 20. Same thing like when you see gameplay for games that aren't coming out exactly like 2026 late, and it's just
Yeah.
like damn bro, like what the fuck, like you got
Mm-hmm.
me hyped for this game and now I can't even play it until like 2026 like
Yeah.
December. But now if you're talking about you're giving me a demo and the game is coming out 2026, I'm gonna be like, yo, like okay, so they're really trying to be like, yo, like you're gonna really like this game,
Like it's coming out next year.
like it's coming out next year, but like I'm giving you little like teasers. I'm giving you little appetizers, so that way when I give you the full entree, you'll be like, I already know the basic mechanics
Yeah.
because I have
First-hand experience.
first hand experience, and then also I have my character developed, and that's a good thing too when they do these demos.
You
Is
can
that
carry it over.
yes, the carry over is like it's nice because it's just like damn, I did all this stuff on the demo or did all this on the free trial, and I don't know if all my progress is going to get transferred over. Nope, it sinks straight in. So if you had let's just say example like what was it? It was the game Leaves of Pride or Lives of Pride. I might be pronouncing it wrong. Might have to look that up. But it was literally kind of like Dark Souls, but in a way that it was like a little bit more like I won't say free flow, but like it was a little bit more like liquid. It was a little bit more like fluid. But same basic mechanics as like Dark Souls. You would run out of stamina, you would do your dodge, you do your deflect and stuff like that. But the game was good for graphic wise, and they came out with the second part because they did so good on the first part, and I believe they did come out with a demo so that way you can kind of try out. But if you have the basic mechanics of the first one and then they introduce certain stuff that you can do in the second one, you know what I mean? Like it's just offering that type of like, playability and able to take that profile and transfer over, it
Well,
just makes it so much better.
and it builds a habit out of your players because people like your first game or your second game or whatever they're on, and it just rolls right off from one game to the next game, from that game to the next game, and it's fluent and it's smooth. And it's like a lot of people I hear have mixed feelings about Dragon Age. People are like, "Oh, I like this Dragon Age. I like that Dragon Age. Oh, I don't really care for this Dragon Age." And it's like, yeah, sure. Like some of them have a thicker story or a better story than others. Character customization. There's always things that you could say are good, better, and this one worse than that one. But the story in general all connects throughout them all. So you could literally play through all of them and
Still be caught
be
up.
connected with the story.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, of course, if you, let's say you don't want to play them all and you're like, I don't like Dragon Age Inquisition, it wasn't my cup of tea. Okay, well, you could watch a YouTube video and catch yourself up. And that's the glory of having technology now where we're at, where you can watch a YouTube video, move on, and you don't have to subject yourself to games that you don't want to play.
Yeah.
So, and that's why I think it's kind of foolish to complain about a game because you could literally just watch a YouTube video to catch you up on that game that you didn't care about, get the basic knowledge that you need, and move on to the next game or move on from it.
Like I said, you can literally just exactly how you said it. You can type in whatever you want on YouTube for a video game, and literally 95% there's going to be a video that shows you either a tutorial or someone going through the same bullshit that you're going through. Because sometimes when we get caught up, I'll be honest, I'll get caught up in certain games and I'd be like, oh, like, damn, like, how do you do this? Or like, what do I need for that? Or like, I'm at this location, what am I supposed to do? You know what I mean? And it happens.
Yeah.
There's a certain point in Resident Evil 6, and you can attest to this. This was the part, it was Leon and, I forgot her name. But you were a female and I was Leon.
Was it Tess?
Huh?
Tess? No.
That sounds kind of familiar, to be honest with you. Maybe that's
There's
what
so many freaking characters.
I know.
Resident Evil's like, oh, that we'll just get through it
Yeah.
because that could be.
Well,
endless.
there was Jake and Sherry, which is the president's daughter.
Yeah.
And then there was Chris Redfield and Price.
Yeah.
And then there was Leon. I always forget her name.
And the funny thing is, we just played this.
I know.
Not long ago.
But this was that part that after we get attacked by that weird zombie fucking shark.
Oh yeah,
thingy.
that's right. You were swimming in the water, and I had to keep shooting it.
So it's always that like little small thing, and that's the good thing with some of these games. It was also like kind of like a little bit of like really, because the funny thing is what they do is that they make it so simple, but then they don't tell you how simple it is that you have to find it out.
Oh, like putting your laser on the freaking target?
Yeah, so you have to use the laser from your gun to like act like it's a sun radius or whatever like that, like a sun
And
beam.
we thought we had to, or I thought I had to shoot it, so I wasted so much ammo. And then you were like, "Oh, wait.
Oh, dude, all you gotta
That's
do
right,
is just
you
aim at it."
aim at
Yeah.
it. And I was like, "Damn."
No, because
I
like
was like, "What the hell?"
and it's funny because I went through the same thing with my accent, and we were trying to figure it out, and it was just like, damn, like how are we supposed to get past this part? And then I looked it up, and I was like, oh, okay. I was like, wow.
Cheater.
I mean,
No.
hey,
I mean, I do that all the time. I don't know why.
God of
some
War?
people. Oh my gosh. No, I just break the controller. You just smash the controllers. That's all you got to do.
dude, the puzzles in God of War, the first
They
one,
were
it
intense.
was like, dude,
Intense.
oh my god. There was actually a cheat that you can do that got you like infinite orbs, so you
Yeah.
basically like kept on opening up the chest that would give you orbs, and then you would die, and it kept the orbs from when you died previously, and all you had to keep on doing is
Opening
opening
that
it
chest.
and then
Yep.
die again, open it up and die again, and then you're just like, all right, I'm gonna upgrade this, I'm gonna upgrade that, I'm definitely gonna upgrade that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it's
You
just like,
literally become a god.
yeah. So I'm just
But
gonna keep on constantly upgrading all these.
but yeah, and I mean, a prime example, we just went on a tangent about all different kinds of games and stuff. So I mean, it should be a hobby because I mean, if you can talk nonstop about it to a group of people, you can get on Discord and talk to a group of people about a game.
Well, yeah, we
It's
haven't even touched on that subject because, like, even Discord is a huge, like, I want to say huge, but it's a pretty decent component because, like,
it
you can go on Discord and, like,
it's pretty
there's
big.
a lot of people that will, like, tell you, like, oh, like, you're stuck at this part, and people will, like, literally join in your chat, or
Mhm.
if you start a message, people will join in and be like, oh, nah, like, you gotta do this, and that, and then it's just like, well, I'm more of a hands-on learner. So then, like, all right, what's your gamer tag? I'll hop on with you because like
Yeah,
they don't have anything really else to do but the gaming
yeah,
most of the time. And then let's say if they're working, like, hey, I'm hopping off at work at like 8. I'll hop on at 9, and then I'll help you out on this part so that way
yeah,
we can get you through it.
yeah,
And then
exactly.
you get their gamer tag, y'all kind of like commerce, whatever like that, on like whatever game, and it's like bada bing, bada boom, and then you got the item. I mean, the person already has the item. All they're really getting is pretty much just the experience, or they might get the
Yeah,
item upgraded, like the
yeah,
experience in
exactly.
Remnant
Through
too.
Remnant, there's so many times. Most of my weapons, that's how I upgraded them because I would get it for you. I would hop on and get it for other people. I literally would
Dude, there was
spend.
numerous times, bro. Like I would just be like, yeah, you could definitely attest to this. I would just get like so frustrated. I'd be like, oh my god, bro. Like, what? Like we're still not there. It's like, yeah, no, bro. We're gonna have to re-roll. I'm like, we have to re-roll again, and that was like our like third or fifth
Well,
re-roll.
and
And I
I
was like, oh my
mean, well, and the
god.
thing was, is that I didn't realize that the layout of the map was relatively the same
Yeah.
to a degree. You would have it was like
There's certain like
yeah,
little small changes.
similarity. There's slight changes, like the map does. Every map does change, but it's a slight change. But there's only so many times that you can change a map. It isn't like when people talk about the game or they do like videos about it, like walkthroughs. They go, "Oh, there's an infinite amount of maps. They constantly are changing it." I'm like, really? I'm like, you think that these game developers spent this long on a game to the point where every single part of the map is changed?
Yeah, I mean, I think there was
And
like there's one game that I know they did that with, but it wasn't it wasn't like too much to a point that it was just like
there,
astronomically different. It was just
I
like
I feel
slightly
like
different.
people don't realize that. I mean, if there's like someone that says something on YouTube that is really like messed up and mean to like somebody and they have a big enough following, those people will search all over the internet. They'll look at the background, see what's in the background with you, like around, like if you're around a gas station or you're around a grocery
Well,
store,
that's why
and they find
again,
you.
our closest friend likes to do the VTubing.
VTuber. And I mean, I
I
can't
no
blame
no
the
no no
person.
no no harsh to VTubers. You know, you're doing you and stuff like that. I mean, some of them, I'll be honest with you, some of them they have like a very beautiful voice, and I would love to see their face, but they don't want to do that because of like the certain. I mean,
But
our closest friend told us like countless stories that like, yeah, one time she went live and she had her face on there, and then instantly she did that, her house was getting squatted, and it was just like, how the fuck does that even happen?
yeah,
Like, what you do? You call a bomb threat at like this person's place, and then you do the
yeah,
homework and research just to figure out where this person lives. For what reason? For what reason and what grounds does that give you to defile this person because they either A said something was offensive or something that you didn't like? Dude, like I hate to talk about it. It's just the world is too fucking sensitive.
yeah.
It's too fucking sensitive, bro.
It's like snowflakes.
Dude, we used to, oh man, we used to be so
Like
strong. Like when you thought about the image
like
of America, you thought nothing but guns and muscle. Like you
and
knew we were
you said
nothing to
what you
be.
wanted.
Yeah, we knew they, or people knew that we were nothing to be fucked with. They knew for a fact that if they fucked with us, that it was going to be a problem. Now it's like we can't even determine what our sex is. We can't even say something as small as the N word. We can't say something as small as like he, she, or they. It's like, dude, nah. Like that video that I sent you about the police
Yeah,
of what they're doing in what was it? I think it was like Florida or in Oklahoma.
I get a lot of videos.
But it was the police force and they were like actually taking charge, which I don't blame them because at that point, like, dude, if you're getting spitting on,
Yeah,
getting swung on, flipping over, what do you expect police officers to do?
yeah.
What do you expect them to do? You know what I'm saying? Same thing that you would like bash on these VTubers or you would bash on these game developers and stuff like that.
It's like
So they gotta work harder so that way they can execute what you want, but then at the same time, oh, like this game is lagging or it's acting up. Well, like, dude, they're working on the servers. You asked
yeah,
for this, but it's gonna take some time because now they have to divvy that back and now the servers are acting up because they're working on those servers.
yeah.
So you're saying like, oh, my fire rate is slow, or like the FPS is like it's acting up. I'm not running as smooth. I changed my HDMI, even got a new monitor
But none
and
of
stuff
that
like.
mattered back then.
You know what I'm
Now
saying?
all of a sudden it matters, and it's like when you go to work. If you go to work and you start, you're stocking shelves, or you worked in a warehouse, you're putting stuff up on the shelves with your forklift. Once you do like, oh, I've done like, I put up
5 shows.
5 shelves worth of pallets, or I've put up like 100 cases or whatever. Then they're like, oh, okay. Tomorrow I need you to put up 40 shelves of pallets, or I need you to put up about 300 worth of boxes. And it's like, why did that bar go up? Like
Yeah.
I'm still me. I'm still the
Well,
one
that's the
person.
thing that I've also experienced is that the more you do, the more high your responsibility is, and because they see what you're capable of. So it's like when I was working in the warehouse, we would get our transfer truck, and most of the time we would get like a good amount of equipment, especially if we didn't get our transfer truck the other day. So
Mhm.
whatever wasn't delivered yesterday is getting backtracked today, so it's getting double implement the amount. So I would get on the Ford truck, I would take out whatever was in that transfer truck, put it in the loading dock, so I have it all set in line, cut it down with a box cutter because it's wrapped around with plastic wrap, hopefully,
Mhm.
and then take each part out. If it's small pieces, put it on the cart. If it's big, like units, whatever like that, keep it on the pallet and then kind of rearrange it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because at that point, you're just doing double the work. Why would you do double the work if you just keep it on the pallet? Or if it's the same unit, take it off from the shelf that it's associated with, take that pallet, move it to the side, put the same unit that is associated with that unit that is like with that, put it back on the shelf.
Yeah.
Because at that point, why would you do more work? It makes no sense.
Yeah.
Because at that point, you're stressing yourself out. Do the thing is like there's certain things that like big things come first and big things come last.
Yeah. Work smarter, not harder.
Exactly.
And
Because
the thing is, a lot of times you get these supervisors that will come in and be like, "Oh, you got to do it this way," and you're like, "Dude,
yeah, but
it's much faster this way." Like I know it for a fact.
everybody does things differently. Everybody does things differently, and everybody has like a type of motion or whatever like that. So it's just like you can't tell a person a certain way and then expect it that way, and then next you know they're doing this, and it's like, oh, like what are you doing? It's like, oh
Well,
well, it works better for me this way.
Well, and what irks me a lot is, what grinds my gears, is when people will be like, "Oh, I've been doing this for years. Like I've been, whether it's waxing floors, whether it's, you know, moving pallets at a warehouse, whether it's, maybe working out or whatever. They like, oh, I've been doing this for like 10 plus 20, 20, 30 years. This is how you got to do it. This is the best way to do it. And I know. And then you try to tell them another way. You're like, oh, try it this way. Like, I've seen it. It gets done faster and it gets it done correctly.
Yeah.
It's not like, I'm not saying it's the perfect way, but I've witnessed. And then they're like, no, 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 you do it this way. And you're like, dude. And it's the same thing with like people set in their ways. And it's like, I want 4K graphics, I want 1080p, and I want a complete game.
Yeah.
No discussions. And it's like, back then you didn't get a 4K 1080p game that was complete. You got a 2K or a 3K game. Some of them were even like 2D, where it was like an old Mario game, and you were like, and everybody was like, oh my god, this is amazing, like I love this. So I mean, to go from that, and in the short period of time, we're not talking like, 50 years we made it this far. No, we're talking like we were in the 2D, the Xbox. Like Xbox came out after I was born.
Yeah.
I'm only 29 years old. 29 years isn't very long.
Yeah.
When you think about it. So YouTube just started after I was born. A lot of stuff started after we were born.
Yeah.
And we're not that old.
I mean, dude, like you remember the time when we were posting pictures on Facebook, and we only did that like literally like it was like shortly after we kind of stumbled upon Facebook.
Yeah,
we
that
weren't
was
even
middle school too.
Yeah, we weren't even diving deep into. We didn't really care too much about like our image.
Facebook
or like
wasn't big. Mostly,
I mean, like
iTunes.
I'll be honest, like yeah, I dressed up, but like, dude, yeah, you remember when I came over to your house. I walked from my house, and I was coming down, and I was dressed up, and a cop pulled me over.
Oh yeah,
and I was walking, dude.
Because you were checking yourself in the mirror.
Yeah, I was. No, it wasn't even the mirror. It was the windows in the car.
Oh, yep.
Because he thought that I was trying to steal the vehicle.
Yeah,
and it was just like, dude, like I don't want to bring it towards that level, but that's like pretty stereotypical.
Profiling.
Yeah, profiling. And the cops in Manchester, they're like, it's definitely on that level.
You also got to think too. So
the cops down here in Alabama,
yeah, it's the opposite here. I'm gonna get pulled over now, but Sierra was just showing me. Yeah, I know, definitely knock. No, Sierra was showing me that they redid Livingston Park.
Seriously?
That park was fine. What was wrong with that park? That park was gorgeous. There was like barely any graffiti. It was a decent sized park. There's fields everywhere. A nice, beautiful like lake or pond, whatever the heck you want to call it.
There was a track.
There was a track
to run or walk on.
Yeah, and they redid that park. Why would you redo that park? You want to know why? If they redid any of the other parks in that area, whether it's downtown Manchester, or even if you go a little bit out and you do Bridge Street Park,
or dude, remember Enright? Even if they redid,
it would
actually
be
they did.
They tried. They did a little bit.
Yeah.
But guess what?
They tried.
What do? These punk kids, and I mean, that's what they are. They're punk kids, and whether that's their parents not teaching them the right thing or being there or whatever the case, doesn't matter. These kids go there and they'll graffiti it, a brand new park. They'll graffiti it. They'll jump on it. They're
write stuff on the slide.
They're gonna climb on the outside of the slide, jumping up and down, kicking it. They're gonna kick the wall. They're gonna freaking trash it with freaking soda bottles, beer cans, whatever, smoking their weed.
This is why we're not allowed to have nice things.
That's literally like to a T.
We can't have nice things. We
And-
really can't.
And that's what I was thinking about. I was telling Sierra, I was like, I'm like, I don't get why they even did that park. And she's like, oh, well, it's nice what they did. I said, oh, no, don't get me wrong. What they did was nice. Like, hands down. Like, I wish they could do that at every park in Manchester. But I don't put, like, for the same reason that they don't do it, I wouldn't do it if I had the option. I would be like, no, y'all aren't getting a new park. And then these people in these areas are like, oh, we're oppressed, blah, blah, blah. We're oppressed, and, we don't have good parks. We don't feel safe. Like, we don't make enough money, so we have to steal. So we have to steal. We have to rob. We have to, like, hurt people to get what we want because we have to fight to come up. And it's like, you guys trash whatever you get. Like, if we bring something new, y'all graffiti all over it. Like, what is drawing on a slide or leaving your soda can or bottle at the park?
Yeah.
What benefit does that, what does that show? Is that like going to put food on your table? Is that going to put clothes on your back? Is that going to make the cops think that you're a good person? Like, is the cops going to stop profiling you? Like, and I mean, you could say, oh, I'm white privileged. Like, they ain't going to stop me, whatever. That's not even the point. Like, even if let's say they did stop me and arrest me, or they didn't, and I'm just, out of the equation, eliminate me from the planet. I mean, that's still not going to solve the problem of you're going to trash the park. If we give you a new park, it's going to get trashed by whether it's a ghetto white boy with his pants around his freaking ankles, practically showing off his freaking tighty whities or his underwear or whatever the hell. Or, I mean, it has race, color, size, gender, don't matter. Like, overweight, underweight, whatever. It doesn't matter.
It's not like
it's just
selected. It's definitely not selected. It's just about the matter of the fact of like how people live and what they kind of experience and what they output.
Yeah.
Because like if you get something brand new,
it falls under expectations. We expect to get new parks, paved roads, all this stuff, but yet we don't want to take care of them ourselves either.
Same thing, like, again, back to our original topic, like, we expect games to be 4K, we expect no bugs, we expect no glitches and stuff like that, but you can't ask for all the bells and whistles if the game first, like, literally just dropped and came out. Like, and you can't expect for, like, literally the best online and stuff like that because they're still working on the servers. Like,
plus, I mean, name a game that comes out where the online or whatever is superb the minute it comes out.
Yeah.
Like, where there's not a single glitch, not a single bug, not a single online, like, problem. There's bound to be a handful of people.
I mean, well, what are you going to say? Destiny or Destiny 2? Like, I guarantee you there was still glitches.
Like, there's someone out there that had a problem where they got booted off the server or whatever.
Yeah.
And I mean, and a lot of it too is, I mean, they should have a timer where it's like, oh, you've been sitting on the server and not moving. We're going to kick you off because we need to make room for people on the server.
And that's understandable because
to a degree
they did that with Space Marines too.
Yeah.
Which is understandable because it's like, dude, like, if you're not doing anything with the server and we got people who are trying to work on the server, we got people who are actually playing on the server, then why are you on the server?
Yeah,
like just like empty.
Like
speed,
if you haven't
just a body,
exactly. And if you haven't moved in like,
what do you bring to the server?
Exactly. If you haven't moved in like 5 minutes or like even 3 minutes, like, okay, like now it's kind of getting ridiculous. Like you said, kick them off. Let someone on who actually is going to be playing and using the game. Excuse me for a moment. I'm gonna open this.
No, you're good. But it's just it. The thing for me, and like I'm saying, like all kudos to people who play video games religiously and make it in the hobby and you're making out money from it. It's even better if you're making money out of it. But it's just about the fact that like you can't critique something that you're playing religiously every single day. And you can't critique something that just firstly dropped out. You can't. Because that's like you critiquing a baby that is first born.
Yeah,
Oh well, I don't like his eyes. I'm like, dude, like
like he was just born.
well,
Like,
not only that, like, but bro, like those are your eyes. Like, oh
yeah.
well, I don't like the way his ears
Well,
look.
not
And I'm
only
like, dude,
that,
like
but
those are your ears. Like we,
but their eyes typically change, and that's the difference too. Is that a game can be changed, whereas to a child can't.
yeah,
So I mean, more the reason why you should give more leniency to a game because the game can always be changed and made better.
yeah, and I mean, a child can't really be changed too much at that point. I mean, if you're talking about like if you really want to like do a couple changes to the child when it's first born, then like you're obviously like the first thing, if it's a boy, then you're talking about like doing what's it called, like cutting off the foreskin,
Yeah,
because you want to do that at early age.
circumcision.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
want to do the circumcision at early age, because if they get older and stuff like that, like let's be honest, like gym class, like come on, like you see the girls and stuff
well,
like
that's
that.
not
Like
that bad. I
it's
mean,
gonna
getting
be protruding.
circumcised, it's not that bad. I
Yeah,
mean,
I mean it's not terrible, but like
mutilating a baby's penis. That's not terrible. I mean, we totally don't. Men don't ever get hurt. We're fortunate.
yeah,
Don't even get me
we're
started on that subject. I mean, we go to
we're
war,
very
all kinds of
fortunate.
stuff. Oh, I could go in on a tangent, but so yeah, that's basically making games a hobby and game expectations. I think close it out.
Yeah, no, I mean that's pretty much the gist of it. Again, you can't have high expectations about a game again that just came out, and you can't have high expectations to a game that is still within its development. Yes, it's very similar of a game that just came out, but if it's a game that's been out only for a month, you can't really hold too much of a high expectation.
You can't have your dinner and dessert at the same time.
No, you can't. And you also can't automatically believe that a game that you hyped over for counts amount of months, that it's going to be the best damn thing that you ever play. Know that there's going to be glitches, guys. Know the glitches and know the updates.
You're setting yourself to be upset. But, anyways, so that's the gist. That's the spiel.
Yep. And we are signing off.